Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back this time with a video that will discuss in some. No, I didn't want you to do that. In some length, the Trump decision with the Supreme Court and ultimately why it was stupid. Now, let's get down to business here. This is from Reuters. Why Trump was originally disqualified from the Colorado primary ballot and what it means. So, this article will tell us why Colorado saw it as a valid reason to have him disqualified. Donald Trump was disqualified from Colorado's presidential primary ballot by the state's Supreme Court on Tuesday, an extraordinary ruling that could be struck down ahead of the November 2024 U.S. election, which earlier this week, we find out they did strike it down, the Supreme Court did. But anyway, here's a look at the decision and what it means for the former U.S. president and forerunner of the 2024 Republican nomination. What does the ruling say? A slim majority of the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that Trump is disqualified from appearing on the state's ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which bars anyone engaged in an insurrection or rebellion from holding office. Now, with that said, where is that? Section 3. We'll pull that up here. Okay, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, disqualification from office for insurrection or rebellion. Now remember, Trump did nothing for hours to say, no, you should not do this. He actually encouraged them. Go and tell them what you think. But it reads, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the U.S. or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. So yes, even just agreeing, saying, I agree, go do this, that is the same as giving aid or comfort. Honestly. That's why, even though John Wilkes Booth committed the only murder in the plot at the end of the Civil War, when he kills Lincoln, he did have conspirators. And even a man who didn't realize what was going on, Dr. Samuel Mudd. they wanted to charge him on the same level. So yeah. This makes firm that idea. And yes, president is an office. The office of the president. It don't go above the Constitution. It never fucking has. Anybody who says it does is a goddamn moron. But anyway. Yeah. So, via this section, clear as a bell, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled, yeah, it makes sense. He shouldn't be allowed to run. So, with that, where is the stupid thing? Okay, really? Really? Anyway, a lower court judge previously ruled that Trump's actions on January the 6th, 2021, during a violent attack on the U.S. Capitol by his supporters amounted to insurrection, but stopped short of disqualifying him, saying Section 3 does not apply to presidents, which is complete and utter horseshit. The Colorado Supreme Court paused its own ruling pending review by the U.S. Supreme Court, which Trump said he will immediately seek. Anyway, will the ruling stand? The case involves a host of unprecedented legal issues related to Section 3, which was passed in the aftermath of the Civil War and has rarely been tested. And again, this Supreme Court, no, they didn't want to test it. They were like, no. No. Colorado had the fucking right. It is not clear how the Supreme Court would rule, but it was dominated by a conservative majority that includes 3 Trump shitheads, some of whom are longtime skeptics of giving court powers. They are clearly not clearly based in legislation. That was a top concern for dissenting justices in the 4-3 Colorado decision, who said the majority's ruling would strip Trump of one of his most basic rights without adequate due process, which is goddamned bullshit! It says it clear in the goddamn fucking amendment. If they commit a insurrection or in the very least get aid or comfort, they shall hold no more national or state office. But apparently that's too hard for some dumb fucks to get through their goddamn fucking noggin. They noted that Trump has never been convicted of insurrection by a jury and did not have the right of subpoena records or compel witnesses to testify in the case among other basic rights afforded to criminal defendants. It don't matter if he's been put into a goddamn trial for insurrection. That does the whole goddamn same thing, you dumb fucking sons of bitches. Fucking hell! You dumb fucks! What does Trump say about the ruling? Trump's campaign called the court decision undemocratic. It's constitutional as fuck because it's following the goddamn Constitution! Dumbasses! The Colorado Supreme Court issued a completely flawed decision tonight, and we will swiftly fall in a building U.S. Supreme Court. Campaign spokesman said. He and his allies have criticized disqualification cases in Colorado and several other states as undemocratic and part of the conspiracy by his political rivals. It's in the goddamn fucking Constitution, you dipshit! Honestly, if any Republican fuckhead tries to claim, I only follow the Constitution, sit on a dick. Because you should have agreed with the Colorado ruling. If you back the Constitution. Yes, you dumb shit. God damn it. How could the ruling impact the election? Even if the ruling survives Supreme Court review, it will be inconsequential to the outcome of the November 2024 election because Trump does not need to win Colorado and is not expected to, given his strong Democratic leanings. It's strong Democratic. I was getting ready to say, Trump don't have Democratic leanings. Colorado has 9 of the 270 electoral votes required to win the presidency. Biden won the state by more than 13 percentage points in the 2020 election. Both similar lawsuits could be filed by competitive states that Trump must win to prevail. I highly fucking doubt it, and now we know that ain't gonna happen. And while none of those courts would be bound by the Colorado decision, judges would likely study it closely while reaching their own conclusions. So, yeah. Not much of that left. But, yeah. It's just stating other states that tried to get them blocked, and some that even dismissed similar cases. But anyway, let's go to a time.com article here. Supreme Court's confused ruling on the Trump ballot case. The Supreme Court showed it can act with speed by allowing Trump to continue his presidential campaign and punching down states' ability to disqualify insurrectionist candidates. Indeed, the court showed it could do so even on hard constitutional questions. Its decision, however, only exacerbates questions about the court's reasons for acting. Questions that would deepen doubts about the justices' even-handedness and freedom from partisan tugs. Doubts are sown both by the timing and content of the recent decision on disqualification. The court added a date to its extraordinary or its ordinary calendar just for the purpose of issuing this opinion, plainly heeding Trump's demands for resolution before Super Tuesday. It also issued a short for the justices, a unsigned opinion that bespeaks a rapid work effort. But while it heeded Trump's demands for speedy resolution on the disqualification question, the court has repeatedly declined to expedite Special Counsel Jack Smith's request for prompt resolution of the question whether Trump is immune from criminal prosecution. That question is in truth much easier to resolve than the disqualification question. In brief, no. Yet the court has dragged its heels in ways that enable Trump's efforts to delay the criminal justice system's operation, perhaps right up to or beyond the election. We often judge others by how they spend their limited time and money. These decisions are about how to allocate scarce resources, cast direct light on their character. The justices' decisions about when to hurry and when to lollygag are impossible to understand without attending to the partisan overtones of the case. Crudely started, it appears that the court hurries when Trump demands it and breaks when he says break. Substance follows method. When it comes to the substance of this week's disqualification decision, the unanimity of the bottom line can't hide an embarrassing series of logical jumps needed to make the issue of disqualification go away for Trump, at least for the time being. To begin with, the unsigned opinion rests on the idea that only Congress can say how disqualification occurs. Yet, as the court itself concedes, the text and history of the relevant constitutional language of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment are plainly inconsistent with that fucking notion! They know they're full of shit! But they don't care! 'Cause they prefer to roll from the goddamn bench! It is settled history that those disqualified by dint of participation in the Confederacy did not have to await exclusion under a federal statute. They were disqualified automatically. It was a matter of original understanding. Section 3, disqualification was automatic. Why is there a need for Congress to set forth a procedure? It's not that the justices don't know the historical facts. The opinion cites approving a 1868 instance of a putative House member from Georgia who was treated as ineligible by both state and federal offices without a statute coming into play. This is clear as a goddamn bell. Worse, what the court goes on to say about the Congress, how Congress can act, is internally contradictory. On the one hand, the majority suggests that congressional legislation is needed for disqualification, which is goddamn bullshit according to the fucking amendment. On the other hand, the opinion picks out and approvingly discusses two cases in which a single chamber of Congress considered whether to disqualify a potential legislature without relying on any law being passed. So can a chamber of Congress, acting through its election-related functions rather than by enacting a statute, disqualify Trump? Original understandings and history cited approvingly by the court suggest it can, but the court at least hints otherwise. Just further proof that this goddamn court is the worst in fucking history! This confusion matters because the court expressly refuses to say anything about whether Trump did, in fact, trigger disqualification on January 6th or its run-up. So the question whether he is a lawful candidate remains unfucking decided by suggesting that congressional legislation is needed to complete his disqualification, which is goddamned fucking bullshit. However, the court overrides Section 3's original understanding that disqualification is automatic and leaves the matter to Congress, knowing full well Congress won't act via a new law. The result is, alas, something of a blueprint for allowing insurrectionists to run for fucking office. God damn it. This was clear as a goddamn bell. But they're dumb fuck asses. We're like, I don't know what the fuck it says. Read the goddamn amendment! Across these arguments, a supposedly originalist court, including the most vehemently purist of justices when it comes to method, repeatedly place fast and loose with originalist evidence and arguments that they elsewhere treat as binding. They instead lean on arguments from consequences that they mock and pillory in other contexts, such as Second Amendment case law. If there is one immediate casualty from today's ruling, it may well be the originalist justices' reputations for acting inconsistent and principled ways. Like I said, further proof this goddamn Supreme Court is the worst in fucking history. I mean, goddamn, they were like, let's overturn a 50 fucking year precedent in Roe v. Wade, and now let's overturn a goddamn fucking amendment to the goddamn Constitution. Like I said, I don't want to hear this bullshit. We're all about the Constitution. Fucker, you deserve your nuts kicked through your throat. What then is going on if the decision is not the result of the justices' legal commitments? A separate opinion from Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson decries the majority opinion's passages on Congress's role in an effort to insulate this court and the petitioner Trump from future controversy. Basically, they're saying, it shouldn't be something that's just passing the buck on to Congress. This is an incendiary sentence, one that will, once digested, add fuel to the deepening skepticism that the court's willingness or ability to stand above the partisan fray. I would tell the goddamn Supreme Court, you've made your fucking decision. Now enforce it. Yeah, just like Andrew Jackson once told the fuckers. Well, Supreme Court, you've made your decision. Now enforce it. In effect, the concurring justices are saying the court reached out to decide an issue that was not before the court. And when it did so in a way that was driven in part by a desire to protect a particular political candidate, setting aside the fact that this candidate is in court because he tried to derail the lawful counting of 2020 ballots by illegal means, and the concurrence is suggesting that the other justices, all appointed by Republican presidents, are acting to favor the candidate selling under their partisan flag. Again, this Supreme Court is the worst in goddamn fucking history. Perhaps as troubling, the concurrence suggests that the court is doing so because it is conflating its interest in dodging future controversies with that of the likely Republican candidate. What's good for Trump, the majority is said to believe it's good for the court. It is an identification that is possible only if one thinks that the Constitution itself takes stand in favor of one partisan faction, and an insurrectionist one at that, which it fucking don't! It don't fucking mention political parties! God damn it. Anyway. When put alongside its speed and timing, the disqualification decision cast only deeper shade on the court's supposed ability to stand above the partisan divide as opposed to digging in on just one side. However, one thing's the disqualification issue ought to have been handled, it is hard to see how anyone but a partisan absolutist can take comfort from this opinion. And believe me, I am far from goddamn partisan. I fucking despise both parties. But this was a horrible goddamn decision, and it will go down in history as a horrible goddamn decision. That's just a goddamn fact. From Al Jazeera, bad sign, legal scholars question U.S. Supreme Court's Trump primary ruling. The court struck down a Colorado effort to keep Trump off the state's primary ballot for his role in the January 6th riot. Former U.S. President Trump hailed it as a victory. His critics blasted it as a blow against accountability. But experts say the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to allow Trump to remain on the Colorado primary ballot was always the most likely outcome. The surprise, they argue, lies in the details. On Monday, the Supreme Court struck down Colorado's efforts to bar Trump from the state's Republican presidential primary under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. That amendment contains a so-called insurrection clause, a section of the law that disqualifies candidates from public office if they engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the U.S. government. Colorado's state Supreme Court ruled in December that Trump had run afoul of the insurrection clause by egging on the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th, 2021. But in a unanimous ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court deemed the state could not remove Trump from its primary ballot. Thomas Keck, a professor of political science at Syracuse University, told Al Jazeera that the Colorado case had long faced an uphill battle. It was definitely always a long shot, and the ruling is not surprising. But, he added, the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling opened up larger questions about what guardrails exist to protect U.S. democracy. It has been 3 years since January the 6th, and Trump has faced almost zero consequences. That is a bad sign for the health of the country's democratic institutions. Trump claimed vindication after the ruling, portraying the case as part of a political and legal ritual aimed at hurting his re-election chances. His supporters are quick to seize on the narrative in the wake of Monday's ruling. In a social media post, the Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz calls the decision a defeat for election interference by lawfare. Bull goddamn shit. Another Republican representative, William Timmons, called it a big win for America and a huge loss for Democrats trying to interfere in the election. Democrats, meanwhile, reacted with a mixture of outrage and ambivalence, with some questioning the optics of removing Trump from the ballot. Like I've said, the Republicans purposely want to hurt people. The Democrats want to do as little as possible because they don't want to anger others. So they're both goddamn fucking shit parties. Quentin Fulks, a manager for President Joe Biden's re-election campaign, responded to the Supreme Court's decision with indifference. Biden is likely to face Trump again in this year's general election after defeating him in the 2020 presidential race. We don't really care, Fulks said during an interview on MSNBC on Monday. I hate both these goddamn candidates. They are the oldest and least liked candidates in fucking U.S. history! But yet, that's who we're goddamn left with! It's not been the way we've been planning to beat Donald Trump. Our focus since day one of launching this campaign has been to defeat Donald Trump at the ballot box. But you know, we keep bombing and killing innocent Palestinians because we're dumb fuckers! We don't do things to help the average American! God damn. I would love... No. Anyway. God damn it. America's so fucked. Dipshit and dumb fuck. They're both bullshit candidates who should not be running for fucking office. I've made this point before. Biden is the oldest candidate. Trump's only 4 years behind his fucking ass. And we see issues with him on the campaign path as well when he's like, because he has fumbled a lot in his own goddamn speech. They're both unfit for fucking office. But you know, fuck us. Anyway, we'll leave the rest of that unread. I'll also add this to the sources in the description box below the video, since it's just an opinion analysis. But, per Wikipedia, again, let's read this one more time. The 14th Amendment, Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as any executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. The only goddamn time, but Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. So, yeah, they can say, oh, it don't matter, you're not disqualified. There you go. But, yeah. Anyway. So this means it is not demanded that they have been tried for insurrection and found guilty. No! It's not in there. It doesn't mean that Congress must make a law stating it. No! Again, that bullshit ain't in there. Anybody who has been a federal or state officer. That means any fucking governmental position, even fucking president, if they commit or give aid or comfort to insurrectionists, then yeah, they can be removed. So Colorado had the fucking right to have made its decision. And that should have been that. But no, the Supreme Court, being the dumb fucks they are, decided to write law from the bitch instead of properly, judiciously looking at it and go, yeah, this is what it fucking says. So, Colorado's right. Hey, out of our hands. That was the right goddamn decision. Not, let's make some bullshit up that ain't in the goddamn amendment. I mean, this is clear as a goddamn bell. An 18-year-old can read this and go, yeah, it don't say anything about Congress needing to make a law or them having to have been tried and found guilty. No, it don't fucking say that, fuckheads. But people cry, oh, due process. Motherfucker. You lose that when you become an insurrectionist or rebellionist. God damn it. I mean, this was clear as a goddamn bell. That this, along with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, is one of the worst goddamn fucking decisions ever fucking made! It's clear as a fucking bell. But anyway, I've bitched and complained long enough. Sorry if I broke some eardrums, but anyway. Yeah, I had to get this bullshit off my chest, because this was just stupid as fuck. Both candidates are pieces of goddamn shit. Both parties are pieces of goddamn shit. And now the Supreme Court, which at one point used to stand head and shoulders above the other parts of the government, are now known as a fucking piece of shit. So, fuck America, cause we've got morons who's in charge of every goddamn thing. God damn it. Oh shit. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.